Hi girls, this is Miss Page here. Happy Wednesday. Today our I can statement is I can use information gained from the text and illustrations to answer questions. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to read through the whole article and then we're going to come back. I have a couple of questions specifically about the illustrations and about information gained from the text. Okay, so let's have a look. Today's article is on wildfires. More than 100,000 uncontrolled wildfires break out across the U.S. each year. They destroy between 4 and 5 million acres of land. Wildfires form under the right conditions. When they do, they can harm people and the environment. Okay, here's an illustration that really helps put all that into perspective. You can see how much land they can destroy. I mean, there's a mass amount of fire there, wildfire that's taking over the environment. Okay, and if you were in that environment, you would be harmed, and the environment is definitely um, tearing down the area. And it says a major wildfire blazes down trees in a forest, so it just clears out the land. The fire triangle. Fires need three components to thrive: oxygen, heat, and fuel. The oxygen needed for a wildfire comes from the air we breathe. Fuel can be any material that can catch fire and burn, such as wood, leaves, or paper. The more fuel, the larger and more powerful the fire can grow. The final component of the fire is heat. Heat can be created by a small cigarette or a huge lightning strike. Okay, so for the wildfire to start, it needs oxygen, heat, and fuel, and that's in that triangle shape. If it only had oxygen and fuel, then it wouldn't work. It wouldn't thrive because it needs heat also. It needs all three components. Okay, and you can see that in the triangle down the bottom, and the caption on that image says the three components of wildfires: oxygen, heat, and fuel. Okay, how wildfires start. A wildfire occurs when all three elements of the fire triangle come together. Natural sources of heat, like lightning strikes, volcanic eruptions, or a drought, can cause a fire. Unfortunately, 4 out of every 5 wildfires are caused by humans. Often these sources include cigarettes, sparks from equipment, campfires, and fireworks. Types of wildfires. Wildfires fall into 4 categories depending on the material being burned. A ground fire burns material in the soil. A surface fire burns on top of the ground. Its fuel is dry leaves, branches, or grass. Ladder fires burn material between the ground and the large trees. They are fed by small trees, logs, and vines. The most intense wildfire is the crown fire. Large flames burn on top of tall trees. Balls of fire often jump from the tree to tree. Okay, and you can see an image there of a wildfire in action, and that's a crown fire approaches the Old Faithful complex in Yellowstone National Park. Okay, and that was taken in 1988. So that's an example there of a crown fire. So you can see it through the illustration. That adds more information to our knowledge. U.S. wildfires. In the U.S., wildfires are most often seen in the western part of the country. Southern California sees the most wildfires because of the dry climate and the Santa Ana winds. This can enable a wildfire to move 40 miles in a day. Okay, and there's a map there, a map of the Santa Ana winds and how it moves and how it can take over a large piece of land. Fighting wildfires. Wildfires are destructive, but firefighters have ways to stop them. One way of controlling a wildfire is creating a fire line. Firefighters dig a line of land so there's no material to burn. Water or chemicals may also be dropped from airplanes to stop wildfire spread. This is done when fighting on foot is too dangerous. Wildfires may be harmful, but they're preventable. We can pay attention to the environment and regularly maintain open lands. By doing this, we can reduce the impact of these fires. Okay, and the caption for the image is smoke from a wildfire can lead to health problems in humans. Okay, so let's go right back to the beginning here. I just want to talk quickly about the main idea. The main idea from this article is that wildfires are powerful and destructive fires that can start for many reasons. It needs the three components, but lots of different factors cause a wildfire, and they are extremely powerful and destructive to the environment. Okay, so there was our fire triangle there. It requires wildfires need oxygen, heat, and fuel to really thrive and take off for them to damage a large part of the environment. Okay, the question that I'm going to ask is what sentence on this page right here on this how wildfires start connects to the triangle illustration on this previous slide. So here's a triangle illustration that we had down in the bottom corner. The triangle illustration that shows the three components. What sentence on this page here um, connects to that triangle illustration? Quickly have a reread of the slide. Okay, a wildfire occurs when all three elements of the fire triangle come together. Natural sources of heat, like lightning strikes, volcanic eruptions, or a drought can cause a fire. Unfortunately, 4 out of every 5 wildfires are caused by humans. Often these sources include cigarettes, sparks from equipment, campfires, or fireworks. What sentence in there directly describes and connects to the illustration of the fire triangle? Okay, I hope you're telling me the first sentence right here. A wildfire occurs when all three elements of the fire triangle come together. That creates a connection, that sentence, to the previous part where we can see the fire triangle. Okay, so it's very interesting that illustrations and text match up to give us more information. Okay, let's have a look at this one. What information does the map give us about the directions of the Santa Ana winds? Okay, so the direction of the winds is not given in the text. Okay, there is other information given in the text. It says that it's in the western part of the country. Southern California gets the most wildfires because of their dry climate and the Santa Ana winds. It also tells us that while the winds can move the wildfire up to 40 miles in a day. But from the map, I can get another piece of information that's important about U.S. wildfires. And from this map, I can see that it shows out west towards the ocean. Okay, so the map shows that the winds move out west. Okay, the arrows are pointing towards the west, out towards the ocean. Okay, you can see from the map there that the arrows are pointing out towards west, and that is also towards the water. And that's additional information that is good for me to know. It's extra information that I can get from the illustration to match up to the information I'm getting in the text. Okay, so there's lots of connections between the importance of the illustrations and also the importance of the text. Okay. Last question. Let's have a look at this fighting wildfires. Why do you think this image here was included? Okay. Why do we think that it was important for an illustration like this to be included? Again, from the text I can get lots of information such as wildfires are extremely destructive. There is a way to control them, but it's really hard to do so. And the firefighters need to try and dig a line to stop more material in the environment being burned. Also, water and chemicals can be dropped from airplanes to try and stop the spreading of wildfires. They're extremely harmful, but they can be preventable. And humans really cause a lot of wildfires, so they can take extra caution to prevent them. However, this illustration and the caption tells me even more information, and that is that the smoke that comes from wildfires can also lead to giving humans health problems. Okay, so this really, I've said it numerous times, but it's really important to recognize that the illustrations are not just there to make the article look pretty. They're there for a purpose and they give us additional information that matches with the information given in a text. And I think that's something that's really important for us going forward. Okay, so with that being said, this is your turn now. What additional information can you learn from the first illustration on the first slide? So I put a copy of the first slide right in there. it was talking about wildfires. So, more than 100,000 uncontrolled wildfires break out across the US each year. They destroy between 4 and 5 million acres of land. Wildfires form under the right conditions. When they do, they can harm people and the environment. What information can you get from the author, including that picture, that illustration in there? Okay, what additional information can you see that you can match into the text? Okay, go ahead and list the additional information you can learn from that illustration. Make sure you take a snapshot of your work and send it into your teacher on Class Dojo. And I hope everybody has a wonderful Wednesday.